Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Hat Hazard podcast. I had a really funny comment on an episode from a couple of ones back from a guy about the NCP car parks thing, saying that his mate had a letter through, like a fine through from NCP car parks. My rant, if you missed it, was about the fact that I had been issued a fine by NCP car parks for parking in a baby and child square parking slot without the relevant permit. I didn't know there was a permit that you have to put, whatever. I just assumed the CCTV would pick up the same baby coming out of the... Anyway, I had my rant. But this guy messaged me saying his friend got a fine from NCP car parks because he got his baby out, got the baby out of the car, but it was only for mother and baby. I need to verify if this is true. He was like, no, it's mother and baby, not father and baby. So just to be absolutely clear, I think the NCP car parks might be run by absent dads. I think they must just be, the whole car parking conglomerate must just be run by dads who abandon their families and are now punishing other men for staying with their families and also, God forbid, doing the big shop with said baby. So bliss from NCP, bliss decision making. I really want to find out. I want to get to the root of this because that's horrendous. If it is, these they're all at big shopping centres and whatever, and the idea of no, so it's just for the mums. Dads, you don't do this. You don't drive with the baby. You don't need this. Phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal work. I'm having a day. Oh my God, I love her so much. I love her so much. I love her so much. I can't, the mornings, man, today was bad. The mornings, it's like she wakes up at 150 miles per hour. I used to work for this lady, wonderful woman, when I was in Chicago, when I was a nanny / a mother's help. And she always used to say to me, she's like, I get up half an hour or an hour before the kids. And I was always like, God, why? Why would you rob yourself of sleep? And I completely get it. She was like, I want to wake up, I want to have a shower, I want to have my breakfast, I want to have my coffee, and then I will start my day with them. I actually am really considering starting to do that. It is like the mornings are like having a raccoon in the house. It's like having a raccoon who is also a stalker and also listens to heavy metal music all through her sleep. It is, but before I was a mother, I feel like I used to start my mornings and the soundtrack to my morning, I didn't actually have a soundtrack, would like you to know, but the sort of in my head, the mental tunology of my mornings was like, do, 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 little happy Hatty waking up. Ooh, here's your bagel. Ooh, ooh, calm, it's okay. Take it slow. Ding, 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 here's your coffee. Blink, blink, blink. Put some makeup on. Blink, blink, blink. Walk around. Rub your eyes. Happy Hatty. Come to in your own time. Pack your bag. I feel like the soundtrack to my mornings now is like the beginning of a heavy. It's like, wherever we're awake, I'd like to go in the bin. Dun, 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 dun. Breakfast, please, but not my breakfast. Your breakfast. Dun, 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 dun. I am so, I can't, does she want to be in my arms? No, she wants to be down, but she wants to be in my arms, but she also wants to be down. So she wants to be up, but also leaning down so she can pick stuff out the bin. Today, I had the audacity to brush my teeth, and she turned around. She was next to me, obviously, because she's my raccoon stalker. She turned around next to me with the shower plug of hair. I was like, why would you give me that? Oh God, put that away. Then she chewed on my phone charger. Then she took every single hairband out the bag. And it's unbelievable. I'm so whoa. It's the most overstimulating sort of, I just wish she woke up how I woke up. Just if she could even have half an hour of eye rubbing. And oh, mummy, let's just sit on the sofa here while you have your coffee and maybe I have a bit of water or, a bit of an apple and we'll just sit and we'll come to. I am woken up by a raccoon stalker. My raccoon stalker is everywhere all the time, but also at me. And also she's now worked out through tenacity and just sheer willpower to climb up onto the sofa. So now I never turn my back ever. Just a very overstimulating morning. Yes, this morning was a lot. We bailed. I bailed on all things. I was like, well, fuck it. We're going to a play group, which is just like loads of rooms, loads of toys. I was like, just do whatever you need to do. Just go raccoon someone else's gaff. Actually, bins, man. What is it with babies and bins? But that was my morning. Luckily, my best friend called while I was in the middle of what would have been a nervous breakdown. And I was like, Hannah, I don't know. She was like, no, it's absolutely worth it. She was like, I do actually think that's why we decided... Ultimately, and we all know it's wrong, like that's when people put their kids in front of the screen, isn't it? Because they're like, I just can't. I'd like to brush my hair. I'd actually like to brush my hair in your life, not to be in danger. That's what I'd like. It's amazing. That's what maybe I'd have told myself before I had a baby. You know that hour before work where you just like blink, 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 hoo, 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 put a little bit of hairspray in your hair, boo, boo, boo. Like that's gone. That's gone. Or if you would like it, you're going to have to set your alarm early. And I'm actually really thinking about it. So that's me. Overstimulated and overtouched. But she's grand. She's asleep. Also, I do want to say this, full disclosure. I've had an absolute childcare fail. And I think it's really important to say this because I know this is where mums feel really bad and stressed out. We've had a childcare fail. And it's not their fault, not my childcare people, my three-pronged childcare attacker's fault. Everyone's just very busy. So she is, to be absolutely clear, asleep with the white noise in the buggy in the studio. Very much, there is a boy out there. I'm at the Haverword Studios. It's all fine. She can't be taken. But yeah, just so we're all clear. If anyone was under the misapprehension that I'm cruising through this unblemished life of easy peasy single mummying, she is asleep in a buggy in a white noise, being looked over by a mannequin in a bull outfit right now. So, we're out here thriving. Speaking of thriving, I don't want to do this because I feel like someone messaged me, actually a very horrible message this week, but that's okay. These things happen. About like saying that you're worse than all the men you slag off. And I sort of was like, look, you can think what you like about me. As comedians, I think as part of the course, we just have to get used to people whose Instagram profiles preach love and life and laughing and light and joy being absolutely venomous to us in our DMs. But I sort of was like, I didn't really want to be someone who slagged off men. I don't really want to be anyone who slagged off anyone. I think I've got some opinions and I'm a redhead and I sometimes have a period and that day is bad. I do apologise and I will always apologise if I think I've been so horrid. But I sort of didn't really want to be someone who slagged off men at all because, like I said, the only reason I'm doing the single mummying is I don't tend to bring home the good ones, but I'm so aware of the good ones, and that's why I'm holding out for one of them to kiss me on the mouth one day. But I say that because I really, the fact that I'm being like platformed and so supported and so helped by all these lovely boys, I thought was sort of and I think I've referenced it, like proof of how grateful I am to the good ones, always. I do just want to flag this one thing. I'm hearing from my sources on the ground, on the ground of relationships, there is a slight epidemic happening, and I just think we need to talk about this. And it is some of your lovely, sweet, sensitive men. Oh, do you know how I get into this? Do you know what made me think of this? The Cut. I don't know if anyone reads The Cut. It's like an online magazine. It was talking about how Gen Z women are, there's this like rise in trends. I don't know if it's just a TikTok thing. This rise in them having, Gen Z women with their Gen Z boyfriends in straight relationships, heterosexual relationships, are out earning, outperforming, as we sort of knew this day would come. And, paying for a lot. They're paying for a lot, so there's kind of been a switch. But there was this quote that I loved about the Gen Z boys. Some of them, I know not all, some, being like, in their rejection and sort of loathing of the finance bro, they're now not doing anything. And I think it's something I've noticed and my friends are certainly vocal about. Okay, boys, absolutely love that we're finding, especially the Gen Z ones, finding new sensitivities, new ways of living. You do not have to be this alpha toxic male provider, goes to work 9 to 5, doesn't touch his kids on the head, like anything. Okay. If you're a father and you are doing a thing where your wife or your girlfriend or your husband or your boyfriend, whatever, or your partner is saying, hey, I need you to do more childcare. I need you to help us more with the kids. I need you to be home for bath time or food time or just take them on the weekends or whatever. If your partner is asking that of you and you point to another man over there who you know and you say, well, John doesn't have to get back for bath time every week. John doesn't have to do Sunday mornings. So the wife, John's never there for pickups and drop-offs. If John is earning a 6-figure salary, John is making absent dad money. He's making absent dad money, okay? Are you making absent dad money? Let me explain this. What I am not saying is women would all like to be in the home, being trad wives, raising the kids, having a nice sunbed every now and again. That's what I'm saying. What I am saying is there are some women, I know them and I love them, who actually don't mind doing the lion's share of the childcare, the lion's share of the domestic stuff, because there is a man who is providing in such a way that her time, her energies, her effort, her exhaustion is compensated by, the occasional spa day, a babysitter they can afford, a nanny a couple of days a week who helps to lead the load. This is mainly directed at my little sensitive artistic boys who I love you, I do. Playing the guitar is very, very sexy. It's terribly sexy. Do you know what else is sexy? Filling the car out with petrol before you drop it back after your sick gig to 9 people at Newcastle under Lyme. That's also really sexy, really fucking sexy. The issue is, if you are not someone who is outstripping their partner in terms of earnings or even equaling, you have to do 50%. You have to do 50% of the childcare. It's not cute. It's not cute to point to absent dad money. You can't point to absent dad money. And again, this is a conversation for you to have with your partner. I'm not saying all women want to do this. I think when women start speaking on behalf of women, it gets very confusing and very bad and it just shrinks us all to this one thing. But what I am saying is some of y'all are making less than £1,000 in tax every year and thinking you can do maybe one bath time a week and then also go on weekends away with the boy. It's just not the case. Would you stop absent dad money? Really have a chat with yourself about whether you're making absent dad money. It has to be worth her exhaustion. It has to. That girl probably doesn't mind that John comes home after midnight every night. She probably doesn't mind. I don't know. I've never been in that relationship. But if he's earning that huge amount, if she is going to bed alone and masturbating in £1,000 sheets, I'm sure she's fine that John doesn't come home till after midnight. Do you know what it feels like to masturbate in £1,000 sheets? No, me neither. I also don't know what that feels like. I imagine pretty fucking great. And you go to sleep without someone else in your bed? Pretty fucking brilliant. Honestly, the only, I think, better option than the one I've got right now, which I do love, is if Pickles' dad was absent dad, but a multi-gajillionaire. And he was like, hey, could you never come anywhere near us, but I'll give you all this money every month? Actually, would I like that? I don't know, but I'm sure I'd make my peace with it. It's the little artistic boys who are so sensitive, but ultimately do find bath time quite boring and actually don't want to get up in the morning, even though it is your turn. And also your partner does also have a job. And also you can't, that's my thing. Please stop pointing to the absurdly wealthy. P.S. Another little thing. If you are asking to go on a boys' trip to Vegas and your last family holiday was in Devon with your family, no. That's no. Unfortunately, boys, sometimes being a dad means doing things that aren't very sexy and cool. And I know a lot of you get it and a lot of you are brilliant. And I'm very lucky that I have wonderful examples of men doing just that in my life. I also am fielding some phone calls at the moment from women and messages in my DMs and things of women being like, yeah, it's so exciting that you've had some really brilliant, exciting meetings and everyone's feeling really good about your brand new artisanal sandwich van at the farmer's market. but I'm going to need you to pick them up from school. I'm just going to need to do that. We're all doing it. We're all doing very unsexy things, I'm afraid. So God bless you. God bless you. But really, boys, start having a talk with ourselves about absent dad money and whether you're bringing it home before we start requesting to be an absent father. Okay? I love you. I love you. I will never slag off men unless I really feel moved to. I love you. Okay, my Dean McCarthy from Widnes arch nemesis of the week is, it's an obvious one, and it's probably a bit hack and probably a bit beneath me, but here we are. I think it's really important. Lady Rain, our wonderful Lady Rain, brought something to our house, which I love with all my whole heart. Did you know Rebecca and Jamie Vardy have released kids' books? I hope you didn't. I hope you did not. Jamie and Rebecca Vardy. Wait for it. Meet the authors. Thank God. Would love to. Front page. The couple have 6 children in their blended family and are passionate about sharing their personal learnings as parents. Would you believe this book is not about the consequences of chaving your phone in the North Sea and hopefully getting out of a court case? Would you believe that's not what the book's about? Having read plenty of bedtime stories, that's presumably Rebecca to Jamie, they wanted to create their own series of books that helps children to recognise their own gifts and talents while building confidence. I would argue that what I know about Jamie and Rebecca Vardy, I'd say too much confidence. I'd say they have too much confidence verging on Delulu. I would say I think only trash people, one of whom can kick a ball and the other of whom is, I think, a model, apparently, didn't know, birth children and also shag Peter Andre. I think 2 people who can just do those things and have released a book on building confidence. I don't think I want them to be in charge of building my daughter's confidence. That's what I feel. I think too much. They have too much. There's such a thing as, I think, too much confidence. I think the Vardys have to build, it would be like my child going on Duke of Edinburgh with Bear Grylls. I don't, there's too much, that's too far. I just need her to be able to walk up a hill. I really don't need her to survive in Iceland in a mountain. Wait, that's the wrong one. Greenland. Iceland on a hot spring for 8 weeks on just a can of tuna. It's too far. It would be like learning sex ed from Bonnie Blue. Too much, too far down. Confidence? Yes, I understand they have to recognise their own gifts and talents. I don't think your own gift and talent can be and not mention the fact that you just snake on other women and make money off selling their personal lives to the press. I think I'm sort of wildly perplexed by what these books are about. All these special bugs, these special bug guardians. They know that it's okay to make mistakes. Well, not all of them, Rebecca. That sounds like a bit of a cop-out that you've made a bug who's told you it's okay to make. Chester teaches that it's good for art to ask for help. Bruno helps others believe they can. Believe they can what? Just get away with it? Just chav your phone in the North Sea and be like, I don't know where my WhatsApps are. That, I banged on about before. That case was one of the funniest things I've ever watched, but also not funny because someone's life got ruined. But also reminds others of their strengths. I can't. The fucking audacity of Jamie and Rebecca Vardy taking it upon themselves to be like, hey, time to be yourself. Big dreams, little guys. I think less yourself. I think Rebecca Vardy, less yourself. Less yourself. Maybe it should be Cedric, the little sloth, with a big dream of actually binning every single natural instinct he has and doing the right thing. That would be a good book from Rebecca Vardy. Be like, here's the things we learned from Cedric, the little sloth, with a bit of a big sorry. Cedric, the little sloth, with grandiose shame. And how to traverse the earth carrying said shit. I'm in awe of it. I'm laughing. She's my enemy. But bliss. Who was it? Who was the publishing house who was like, do you know who would be our great celebrity ambassadors for the Be Your Own Guardians, Time to Be Yourself books? The Vardys. Bliss. Absolute bliss. Welcome back to the Hatter Natter section of Hat Has a Podcast. I have a very special guest today, and it's one I'm very, very, very flattered has agreed to do it. I obviously drone on every week about being a single mother, but I have a very special person in my world who is the result and product and testament to a wonderful single mother. He's also my very good friend and the very best producer in the whole of the world.
Oh, I'll take that.
It's Carl Reigler.
Hello. I said previously it's weird to set a room up and then sit down.
Yeah.
I feel like the dog holding his own lead.
I know, but you do it so beautifully. You hold the lead so beautifully.
Also, this is the first podcast that I've ever done alone.
Shut up.
So I say no to everybody quite regularly as well. Like, I mean, I get people in my box, I didn't do this, and I always say no.
Why do you not do them alone?
I think it's a weird imposter syndrome, maybe.
Okay.
It's like, listen, I know I'm good at my job.
Yeah.
I know we're very successful. I know what we've got. I'm not like, little old podcast. I'm not stupid. I don't know, it's like a weird imposter syndrome that I don't think anybody really loses.
Yeah.
I think it's also quite important to have a bit of imposter syndrome.
So do I.
Yeah.
So do I. I absolutely think that. I think it's because if you genuinely believe you deserve it and this is the right thing for you, I think you turn into a little bit of a monster. I think there's that thing of like, I think all the people I love most in the world feel like they're like stealing a living a bit.
Yeah, I think that's the right way to be. I think you should go home and go, that was mad, wasn't it? That was mad that was me.
Yeah. I know.
But I think it keeps me grounded, maybe.
But why wouldn't you do it alone? Because I know you've done Dead Men with Harry, haven't you?
I've done Dead Men with Harry, but we're Madda.
Yeah.
That is me and Harry. That is Carl Reigler, host of Madda.
Right.
I've never done Carl Reigler as Carl Reigler or as Sensei Carl. It's very cool. It's weird. It's like a weird. Maybe it's a protection thing, like a mask.
I think it is. Freddie actually, for all his lunacies, has said this thing to me before, which is so astute and is so helpful, especially in the world that we're in, the sort of Northwest podcast bubble, where obviously the fans has a lot of crossover and they're so loyal and they're so brilliant, and we're all so sort of incestuous in the way of like we're all mates with each other and we're all in each other's worlds. That he was like, I think you've got to remember that on the pods, we are actually all like a WWE character. Like we're all the versions about this version of ourselves. 100%. And he was like, because I, obviously when I started this, I was like, it just feels like I'm going to invade this really private personal space. He was like, you still get to be the version of yourself you decide to put out. You still get to be, as much as it is more vulnerable and it is a bit more about you, you still get to be this other version. And I think he's really clear on there being this WWE version of ourselves. And it really helps me that.
It helps me no end.
Yeah, to just know you've got that.
Like, it helps me with a lot we do with, so, we're currently doing, this is like a bit of a teaser. If you're watching this, you deserve it. Yeah. Impractical Jokers, our version of it comes out next month.
Yeah. Great.
And I've got no cringe. I'll talk to anybody. I'll talk to literally anybody. But it helps on the podcast because I'm like, that isn't Carl. That's have a word Carl.
Yeah.
And everyone treats them a bit differently. Like, God, Carl's mad, isn't he? I'm just going to go up to someone on the street and just say shit. I'm just going to do that. It's why Stars Under Eyes was easier for me. First time I've ever performed on my own on stage. Yeah. First time I've ever sang in front of people. But it wasn't me. So it was two levels. It was Sensei Carl being Elton John.
Yeah.
So it was like if I was shit, that was Sensei Carl being shit at Elton John.
Yeah. That's so it, because that was one of my biggest leaps going from acting to stand up, where acting, you're a version, you're a different person.
Yeah.
You turn up as a different person. No one knows anything about you after 2 hours of you on stage or half an hour of you in a show. No one knows anything about you. And the thing about stand up is obviously stripping all of that bullshit away and being the version of you that is relatable and is out there. But then obviously as you go through it, you realise, no, there has to be a version of you that turns up on stage because it's too scary, it's too awful, it's too exposing otherwise. But acting's so much easier because you're like, that's that other girl.
That's not me. That's
that other chick.
That's the person you need the job to.
Yeah, it's so funny. No, well, I'm very, very flattered.
Well, it's why. So I've got my stand-up coming up in September. It's why I'm a bit more nervous about the stand-up than I was the singing. Yeah. Because I'm like,
there's one layer removed.
That is me. That is Carl on stage. That is, I've seen Carl doing stand-up.
Yeah.
So I like, Adam said something recently, and in all his wisdom, I don't listen to Adam a lot. But this stuck with me.
Yeah.
It was when we were talking about Impractical Jokers again, and Finn really isn't into it. He really doesn't like it. And Adam said to him, Finn, you've got such a happy, privileged life. You can have one bad day. And I thought, you know what, that's so right.
Yeah.
I have to be on stage for 5 or 10 minutes. I can have 5 or 10 minutes when I feel shit or nervous.
Totally.
And then I get to go back to the life I love.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a very privileged position to be in. But when he said that, I was like, yeah, every day doesn't have to be amazing. As long as you love your life overall. Having a bad day isn't the end of the world.
Because there's just this thing you come back to, this like happy... Brennan and I really got on that with our episode, which was, I mean, Brennan obviously for the first time as we've ever known him is in a really happy, functioning, lovely relationship. It's the best and he deserves it the most. And it's amazing how it has infiltrated every single area of his life, as I think it does, where you exactly that, where like the bad gig is just the bad gig.
It's fine, you move on.
The bad interaction with someone is just the bad interaction. The bottom doesn't fall out of your whole life when actually it's really stable. The bottom is really stable. And it's a really nice thing. It's really smart of Adam. Really, let's give him that. It was really smart of Adam.
I was like, I'm gonna cling.
But he also,
onto
no
that.
one knows that better than Adam. I think he's like in such a lovely space personally. Like his whole personal setup is lovely and he's happy and he's got the, and so it just throws everything else. You can have that bad day.
Yeah,
you can just have it.
It's like, obviously the bad weeks turn to bad months and that's not good to look after yourself and stuff. But if you go, oh, that was a bit of a shit day, tomorrow's a different one. I get to go home to Serica and me cat and me dog and I'm like, oh, it's fine, innit? It's fine.
And this is okay. This takes us beautifully onto the thing because obviously you probably don't know this. I don't think I ever said this to you. The time that I was coming into guest host, I was just pregnant. I think it was Elliot Steele's episode, and I was coming into guest host, and you picked me up to take me into town. And all the time I was pregnant with Pickles, I thought it was a boy. Like I was so sure it was a boy. Just more testament to my excellent gut instincts, but I was so sure it was a boy, and I didn't realise until that conversation we had that you were a product of a single mum. Like you said, my mum was single, never knew my dad. I've had nothing to do with my dad. He's not in our lives, and I couldn't believe it. Not because it was so calming, and it was so, not that I was nervous or whatever or anxious about that, but there is obviously that thing where you go from bringing a boy into the world. I have to think really carefully about the male role models, the male, and then you to be sat there, who I have never ever, who has one of the most healthy, functioning, joyously in love relationships I've ever seen. I'm not just saying that because you're here. Like I always use you and Thomas Green as my examples of it's just like watching love in real time. I've never heard you be anything but respectful to your missus. It's so joyous, and you've never treated any woman I know with any ounce of disrespect and to know that you were the product of a single mom was so just like calming and like I don't want to say inspiring because it's annoying, but like just like oh yes. And do you before we get into all that stuff, do you want to explain the circumstances or like the way in which your mum became a single mum?
Yeah, of course, yeah. So
as much as you want to,
no,
and
100%, yeah. Like I've told this story on the podcast.
Fine.
But I told the story of Sensei Carl.
Okay.
It's
sure.
This is
we'll
a thing,
do however you feel comfortable to talk about it. Yeah.
I've told Adam and Dan. I've told there's millions of people who listen.
Yeah.
But I told them in that medium where I'll say something and Adam will joke about it.
Yeah.
And cut the edge off it.
Yeah.
And it's not real.
It's the cartoon strip.
Yeah. It's like Adam will say something really like inappropriate about it, and it kind of takes the realness off it.
Yeah. No, it totally does. That's what jokes do, though, don't they?
Yeah,
they
and
make it easier for us to hold.
Yeah, like the story about. Have you heard the story the day Adam's mum passed?
Yeah.
When I said to him in the pub, do you know?
No.
So his
this
mum.
isn't the TV thing.
No. So his mum had passed that morning. Obviously, I ran round to his house. Yeah. I'm just there, like all his family are there. We're there. We're all sitting around talking. Like, let's go to the pub, which is hilariously ironic, but irony is what it is. And we're sitting in the pub, and I say Adam's mum's just passed, and his brother's there, and his dad, and his aunties, and we're all sitting and talking. And I think it was something like, does anyone want any nuts from the bar? Now, the lad in me, the late teenage lad, maybe early 20s, goes, what joke am I going to make here? And I just went, oh, your fucking mum loves nuts. And then I went, oh, like I literally went see-through. And I went, oh my God, lad, I'm sorry. And he went, fucking shut up. That's what we want. Yeah. We want the jokes. We want to cut the edge off, because why not? Why not make it silly and easier to deal with? Because being sad's good because you have to deal with shit. But if someone's there kind of helping you through it in their own way, it helps, doesn't it? So
yeah, it does.
That's why telling it on a podcast was easy, because I was like, you're all my mates. You all get it.
Yeah.
You don't take me too seriously, which helps. But my situation is like similar to yours, because like growing up without the other parent, and how much people think it matters, but like it just doesn't. If the right person's in charge, which my mum is and was, it's fine. So I didn't find out. I might be getting the age wrong here. I think I was 25 when I found out anything about my dad, and I mean anything. I knew nothing.
Okay.
I didn't know his name.
Yeah.
I didn't know how old he was. Didn't know where he lived.
Yeah.
I didn't know whether he was 7 foot tall, 2 foot. Like, I knew nothing.
Had you ever asked?
So, I remember when I grew up, obviously with my brother in the house, who was 15 years older than me. Yeah. So he's automatically got that he's already got that parental thing built into him where
of course.
He was 15 when I was born. Yeah. When I became a toddler, he's in his 20s. He's got this insane protection over me. So he's kind of like, I wouldn't say father figure, but like, he fills in the gaps. There's a role model. He fills in the gaps of the male role model. He taught me how to shave. I remember the day he taught me how to shave because he was taking me out to this like gadget show thing, and I had the worst mustache. Like
the little prepubescent one.
Awful, awful. And I was like, whatever. And he went, "We're not going out with that on your face." And I was like, but I don't know how to shave. He taught me how to shave. Yeah, that's the
big stuff.
The farley, like, and that was nice. So I had that. But I remember growing up, and it was never spoken about. And I'm quite like over controlling because I try and push negativity away at all points. It's probably a bad thing, to be honest. It's probably not healthy. I should probably let a little bit of negativity in. If there's a sad video, Sarah will watch it and embrace it and be sad. Whereas I'm like, I don't want to see it. And I felt this thing between my mum, but I was like, I don't want to ask her because I don't want the thing to be sad.
Make her sad.
And it doesn't just make me sad, it makes her sad. I'm like, it's fine, we're happy. This ignorance is great. She's the best mum in the world. I couldn't be happier. I couldn't be more looked after. Yeah. I didn't want for anything. You know, we didn't grow up rich, but like I didn't want for anything. Yeah. I remember looking at friends' parents who had like the nuclear family, 2 older brothers, mum and dad, and I was like, oh, I'd love that. Yeah. That looks amazing. Like, that looks dead nice. Yeah. But I wasn't going home going, oh, I wish I didn't have this. I still loved what I had. So I just didn't mention it.
Wow.
Just never came up. And then because of that, it became this mad, like, secret in me head that, like, if I went near it...
You'd boxed it off?
No. If I went anywhere near it, I would just get, like, the rush of just emotion would, like...
So, but did that mean that you boxed it off? Like, or were you conscious of having, every time you thought about it, getting really upset and it being like, oh, it's still actually quite a loud voice, even though it's a voice I'm not listening to, it's quite a loud voice? Yeah, it's something I think about
every day still. It's just natural. But I pushed it away, but it didn't make it any quieter. Okay. If it was away, but if I opened the door, which I did regularly, naturally, it was just like, oh, I'm sad. Not because that's the wrong word. I was like, I'm emotional. Yeah. I remember with Serica bringing up, I'd just be like, fucking, because I was with Serica for maybe 5-6 years before I even found out. Just weird. And then I remember this really, really, really flashpoint moment. I must have been like 12, 13, sat with me cousin. She's 6 months younger than me. She's the cousin you grow up with. Yeah. We were in Nan's together. I've got one of those. We went to Blackpool. Like, it was just, she's my best mate at that time. I've actually seen her much since we've grown up, which is, you know, being adults, I suppose. And we were sat having our dinner at the table, just me and her. Mum was in the kitchen. She turned around and said to Mum, she went, "Who's Carl's dad?" And I remember thinking, what? You've brought up the thing that we don't talk about. I'm like, you're going to make me mum sad. It's going to make me sad. I remember thinking, oh, fuck, like, what has she just done? Obviously, really innocently, she doesn't know.
Of course.
And because of that, I don't even remember the answer.
I was going to say, what did your mum say? Because it is such an innocent question. It's so curious and it's so fair.
I think I remember just, like, fucking being, like, flashbang.
Yeah.
I don't remember the answer. I was just like, I cannot recall what she said.
And do you think you put that in? Because that's really interesting. And I know, like, having nannied, I know firsthand how much kids pick up on an energy and on a thing they can't talk about and on a thing they shouldn't say.
The thing is, she never gave me that energy that I can't talk about.
That's what I'm asking. Did she ever give you any, like...
No.
You just decided
I remember not too long after that, she obviously remembered it because it was a big moment. She went, by the way, whenever you want to know about whatever you want to know, come to me and tell me I'll tell you whatever you want. And I was like, okay. But then I was like, but I was still like fearful of, she owes me that, of course.
Yeah.
So she needs to tell me. That doesn't necessarily mean she wants to tell me.
Got it. Okay.
So I was like, yeah, of course. I was like, you know, when I'm older, maybe, whatever. And then I say I grew up really happy. I didn't want for anything. I had, you know, the best mates. I had a lovely school. I had a lovely home life. So I was like, I don't need to know. So I just kind of pushed it away again.
Did you have anything in your head that was a scary, sad version of the answer?
Yeah.
Like, because it's funny, when I went through it with her, part of the counselling, you have to have counselling before you have a baby by yourself now, with the IVF, was part of the counselling was how to speak to her about it.
Yeah.
So had you come up with a version?
Yeah, I have 10
right.
versions.
Okay, yeah.
10, like, you know, whether she'd been hurt or like the guy was horrible, like, you know, all you
Sure.
think the worst
the bad versions.
things first.
Yeah. So actually, there's a part of you that probably doesn't want to ask the question because you don't want to know the answer.
That's what I'm saying. I was just protecting my mum by going, listen, I can
And
tell
you.
you're happy. I'm happy. Let's not change it. So and then that probably stayed for like 10 more years of me talking about it to Serica.
Mm-hmm.
If it came up, me getting dead upset. Never talking about it to my mum. Even when you're in school, kids say the worst shit, don't they?
Of course they do, yeah.
Like, and it's shit that you have to kind of just grow a thick skin to.
I imagine it would have been easier. I sometimes think, I feel for the kids whose business is known. Like for you, and obviously it wasn't a known entity, that your dad was not a known entity. I feel for the kids who have a bad dad and people know they have a bad dad, or they have a dad who's done this, or they have a dad whose family is 3 years below them at school, whatever. Like, I think that must be savage to have your big sad and your big
Just
scary known. Yeah.
Mine was totally unknown, obviously. And then I was still living with my mum at this point. I hadn't moved away. I hadn't moved in with Serica. So I was about 25, maybe 26. That's too old to live with your mum, I think. If you're out there living with your mum that age, it's fine. What I mean by that is you clash.
100.
You are a grown adult. You are a nearly fully formed adult with your opinions on things. And I'm living with my mum. How things should be
done.
And obviously I'm a knobhead. I'm a lad, whatever. And we clash. And we were having an argument in the living room. No different to any other.
Yeah.
Shouting match, whatever, slamming doors, me being me, being her. And then I can't remember what it was, but it was like we both realised this was the moment. It was like lighting it, both of us. And we were sat on the couch and we stopped arguing. She just looked at me and she went, just ask. And I was like, oh, fuck you. Like, it was this weird synergy. It was mad. I was like, okay, like, tell me. And then she told me how, like, he wasn't in my life at all. Like, even when I was a baby, not to remember. It was kind of a holiday romance that didn't really work out. He had his life, she had hers. She just wanted obviously my brother's 15 years older than me, so she loves baby. Like, even now, if you gave her a baby, that's her life. And she got given this miracle in the way that wasn't perfect.
Yeah.
But she was like, well, I'm just going to keep the miracle then.
Yeah.
I want the baby. I got told I couldn't, like medically, whatever.
Yeah.
So she was like, obviously it's come about not the best circumstance, but like, I get to have this, so I win. Yeah. She told me I was half Spanish. Yeah. Which is hilarious to find out you're half Spanish at the age of 25. Like, that is so... I was with Serica a while there, but I was like, I lost the opportunity to tell girls I was half Spanish for a few years there, which is great.
Muy guapa.
Like, I was like, oh, that's cool. That's added a weird coolness to who I am, I suppose. Like, being, half another... like half Spanish, half English.
Got to celebrate a tapas restaurant.
Yeah, like mad. I was like, cool. I was like, maybe. She was like, yeah, look at your hair. You got dark. Like, I was like, yeah. I told Serica, I was like, I know about my dad. I know his name. I know I'm half Spanish. And she went, of course you are. She was like, look at you. And she was like, of course, like, look at you when I tan so easy. She's like, of course you are. Like, that's not. And she was the best about it, and she understood. And she listened, and she was. Yeah. And then we haven't really spoke about it a lot since then. It's been dropped in conversations here and there, but it's kind of like I know everything I need. Like, I know everything. Yeah. She told me everything. Nothing changed.
No, I bet.
There was no hole that was open. There was no hole that was filled. I just found some information out.
Does the loud the loud, like,
Yeah, that's
better.
Well better. I think the loudness was, why don't I know?
Yeah.
Like, why is there a gap here?
And also all those like horrible versions that you go,
Exactly.
that was none of those were real. Like,
I mean, say it
it's the
wasn't
monsters under
ideal.
the bed and turning the light on and being like, there were never
There's no
monsters
monsters
there. Yeah, and there never were.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
big
as
one.
to say, you know, it's not ideal because, you know, in the ideal world, you'd want a nuclear family, you'd want the parents together, whatever. But it wasn't the worst thing in the world. She wasn't hurt. He moved on. I think he knows I exist. He knows that she was pregnant, you know, like well into the term as well. So she said she sent him a picture of me, so I imagine he knows what I look like.
Yeah.
But he's in Spain.
Yeah.
He was in Spain, maybe he's still in Spain, I don't know. And he's living his life. And I get this question asked often. Adam asks, he's like, when are you ever going to go and look for him? I mean, I just don't care.
That's really interesting because I get asked that question, obviously with Pickles. And she said that the rules in this country are that at 16, she can ask for all information about him from the clinic.
Yeah.
I've obviously saved all the paperwork, etc. So I have that and we'll talk about it whenever, same as your mum, whenever she wants to. Whenever she wants to have that conversation, we'll do it. And at 18, she can track him down. But there are so many kids of single parents who say that they don't have no interest. None.
I've gotten, like, I imagine there's children of single parents who maybe do feel like they've missed out and go for it, go and fight. Like, but again, like, it's probably this like weird rock on the boat thing. I mean, like, he's got his life.
Yeah.
He's got his family. He's doing whatever. I mean, it might not even be anymore. You never know, do you?
Yeah.
I've got mine. Mum's got hers. I am so happy and fulfilled that I could get another 10%, but I just won't.
You know.
And I always talk about this thing on the pod of like net happiness.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a silly trope that I say in jest. Like, say you've got a bike that you like, you don't really love it, and then someone steals the bike and they love it. A bad thing happened, but net happiness went up.
That's really good.
So I'm like, I'm dead happy, and I could go searching for things, and I could make things unhappy for multiple people. Yeah. And I've got the right to, but it's selflessly. I'm like,
I think we've always said, just because you can doesn't mean you should. You know,
it's fine. I'm not sitting there going, God, I wonder what he's like.
Were there moments growing up where you wished you'd had a dad? Were there like times where you went, like you really felt it?
Yeah, like but the thing is, I had my brother. He was a bit older than me. He's a man. He's, you know, he's filling in the gaps. My granddad was massive in my life.
Right.
Like huge.
This comes up a lot. Yeah.
So he was my mum's not biological father. He was my mum's. He married my nan.
Got it.
But when I was a kid, I knew no difference.
He was,
He was my granddad. He still is. He's still here.
Yeah.
It's funny because my nan, she's passed away now. She was like, "Don't call me Nan." So her name was Kathy.
Yeah.
Like, which I thought was normal, but it's not.
Yeah.
So he's Alan. My granddad's Alan. I call him Alan.
Yeah.
You know, he filled every gap.
Yeah.
He took me to play footy. Took me to the Everton match. He showed like he filled in all like the sports things where maybe my mum couldn't do it because she was a full-time nurse.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like I missed out on any male.
Well, that's it. And even when you like look back now, obviously with all the hindsight and the intelligence of an adult, we hope is that all the stuff that your granddad did, there are dads not doing that. There 100%. Are dads shirking all that stuff. And I've always said, like, let me tell you, no dad's better than a bad dad. And because I think there's a rush towards of all the men who are then in your life. Obviously, Pickles has her papa, who is everything to her, and she has her Uncle Tom, and she has, you know, even just the male comedians we talk, like she's just had now hanging out with you playing footy in the common room. Like there's such a rush of love towards her.
That's all.
There's no one taking. There's no one in our life like dropping the ball or not being there. And it sounds like you had that. All these people stepping up hard.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a
biological dad.
It doesn't have to be your dad.
Yeah.
If you've got, because you as a man, you have to have male influence in your life when you're young, because you have to learn how to kind of be a man. And I know that's kind of maybe an antiquated
No,
thing.
it's not at all.
But like, and I mean,
there's so much new studies coming about like the male mental health crisis, and actually the lacking is positive male role models. So much of it.
But like, to be a man is to also how to treat a woman. Like, like it's all a big thing. But like, and I also like I'm gonna kind of go against what we're saying here. Yes, you can have these amazing role models, and yes, Pickles are so lucky to have you. But also, it's kind of on me where I am too.
Yeah.
Because I think people go, listen, I'm a bad guy, but like I had a bit of a rough one growing up. And obviously that is a thing. But it's also on you to choose to be a good person.
Thank you. It is the thing that I struggle with so much, is obviously as someone who's had her fair share of boys who don't take responsibility for themselves, is this thing of like, the woe is me. My mum did this, my dad did this, I never had a chance, blah, blah, blah. I'm just broken. It's never going to get better. And being like, there are survivors of like genocide who turn around and go like, actually, I've got the rest of my life to live. And by the way, I'm not dismissing that. I'm not. But like, it's so doable, the decision. There is a moment. I think it's a Carl Jung thing where it's like, there's a moment between an event that happens and your reaction. And then the bit in the middle is your decision. Yeah. It's your decision.
Yeah. Like you, and obviously I could go, my mum is an amazing woman. And yes, a lot of how I am is because of her. I'm not going to take that away from her. But I just feel like you also decide who you want to be when you grow up.
That leads me on to this next bit, which I've always wondered, which is, like I said at the beginning, you have one of the most like healthy, functioning, like completely joyous, beautiful relationships. What did you have? What were your models of those? What were your models of relationships?
Funny because I didn't have any.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Didn't have any. I don't know. Like,
do you think that almost freed you? Because I do think sometimes
probably, yeah,
adults grow up and recreate what they've seen. They grow up and recreate the norm that they've had, or like what they just assume is the go-to. So if parents haven't spoken very nicely to each other, if one of the parents has been a bit like off, if one of the parents has prioritized other things, like goes in. Whereas actually almost you think you were freed because you didn't have any.
Yeah. And I remember Katie saying it recently of like the freedom of not having to maintain a relationship for my mum means she had all the energy in the world for me.
Yeah.
So that's probably helped too.
Yeah. Did it ever come up at the beginning, and you have to talk about with you and Serica, were there any stuff at the beginning where like you almost just didn't know what relationships were, how they were normal, or what they looked like, or how they...
I don't know. I think I just know how to be a person.
Yeah. I would agree with that. Yeah.
Maybe I have to... Maybe I just have to fully attribute to my mum. Like maybe without me knowing, she just put that into me.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I was never like... Because I've got, like, I won't name them. I've got a friend who, his parents have been together since they were young. They're now probably in their 60s. And a big thing in relationships is actively working on them. And I mean, every day.
Amen.
We have been together for 15 years. We know each other inside out, but we're still learning shit. Working on it every day. Not going, we're cool. Let's let it slide. Because what happens is, you let it slide. One of them notices they're not happy. The other person doesn't notice. And then you slide at different paces and then they've slid away.
Totally that.
So working on your relationship is so important. Like his parents, you know, obviously they're happy, but they let it slide to the point where they're not a couple anymore.
Yeah.
They are parents. I am the mum, I'm the dad, you are our kids. And they were his role models of a relationship, which he then took into dating, which it's not his fault. That's what he's been exposed to.
Yeah.
The person he was with was like, oh, it's not bad. He was never bad to them, but like, oh, this isn't how it works. This isn't what I need. And he didn't know that. Yeah. And he ended up breaking up with this person. It didn't work. He went to therapy. He told the therapist about that. And they were like, yeah, you've just been exposed to. So right now, he's learning how to be in a relationship. And he's in his 30s, which is mental. But that's just the way it is.
But good for him for doing 100%. The work. Like, and again, Brennan talks like doing the work. You do the work. Yeah. Doing the work is actually, as I love this. There's this it's a writer called Laurie Gottlieb, and I'm sure it's her, who talks about, think about therapy as like getting to know yourself. It's actually about unknowing a lot of things about yourself. It's about unlearning all the things that you thought, it should be like this, and this is me. So no, it isn't. It's just something you've picked up along the way and is null and void. And I think that thing of, and what exactly the episode with me and Katie was, good relationships, functioning, healthy, happy relationships take work. It's not an accident. It's not this thing that like, we're just lucky, I guess. It really 100%. Does. And people are changing. We're all changing. And people get lost and you have bad times, and to keep deciding to repair. Repairing is so exhausting. Yeah. Repairing is hard, and it's vulnerable making, and it hurts, but when two people both want to do it, that's the most beautiful thing. Yeah. It's when someone doesn't think they
realise,
should. Yeah, exactly. So I guess it just doesn't work.
We're great. Like we're a couple, we argue, that's normal. And then whether it's the man or the woman goes, and I say they slide a bit faster.
Yeah.
And when they realise it's gone.
It's gone. That's so fascinating. I'm so interested by that because, I do think, I mean, whatever happens with me falling for someone, I still maintain, even if I did fall in love with someone, I'm not sure I want to live with them.
I heard you say that on the last episode, and I was like, 100%.
Because did you have to answer this? Did your mum ever have boyfriends when you were growing up, or like a partner?
Very few, and that was my fault. I think that was my fault.
You Kevin McAllistering with
my mum is so independent.
Yeah.
She raised a son from when she was 17. She was the head of a household.
Yeah.
She's a full-time nurse. She raised me as well, like on her own. She bought her own house. Like she is an unstoppable force of nature. So she doesn't need a man.
Cool, yeah.
It's hilarious, like the trope. She doesn't need a man at all.
No.
I think there's a difference between want and need, and this is a big thing in relationships as well.
Totally.
She wants a man. That's very different. So that man, because she doesn't need them, she's like, if you're not what I want, bye-bye.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of women, I'm not going to talk on behalf of women, I think a lot of people go, well, I need this, whether it's stability or, someone to help me with my kids, whatever. So I'll put up with the shit that I don't want. Because my mum is 100% like, I'm solid. You better be all I want or I don't want you.
Yeah.
So I think because of that, she was like, men don't really interest me a lot. Yeah. And then also me being a 13, 14, whatever you're like going, I ain't wanting fucking fellas in my house. Like this ain't.
So was it? So it was never like a man never came in and was like had moved in for a period
maybe
of time,
one or two, not massive relationships. And listen, I was never vocal about it. I was never like, I don't like this man. I was probably just acting out a little bit.
That's what Katie said. She's like, no teenage boy wants.
I don't want a man in my house.
Boyfriend. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not stupid. I know bees and bears. I know this shit. So I was kind of like, and then I grew out of that massively when I got old enough, and then especially when I moved out, I was like, I want someone to look after me mum now because she doesn't need anyone, but she wants someone to spend time with and do stuff with. And now she's got that. She's got a boyfriend.
Great.
For the first time in as long as I can remember.
How is she finding having someone in her life, though?
I think she's she's so happy. She's like a different person.
Good.
Which is difficult to do sometimes because that's whatever.
Yeah.
But she's just so happy and I'm just like, fly, go.
Good.
Like, the person who I was when I was a teenager, it was like, he's gone, and now I want you to do whatever you want to do.
But I wonder how she she obviously has such a full life where she is so in control and independent and able and competent at everything. Then the idea of someone coming into that space and like doing things differently, being like,
I imagine she's having to be okay with that.
Right.
But again, that's just the way of the world, isn't it?
Of course
like I've just so for example, the paneling you've got there, same guy did my house.
Oh, we love him so much.
It's great.
He's the best.
He's good at it. I'm not. My mum's like, no, I'm doing it. But I'm like, but you're not as good as him. She's like, well, I am. So right now she's paneling her house. That's what I mean.
It's so funny that we started this episode with you being like the dog holding its own leash, and we're like, wonder where you got that from.
Oh yeah. Oh,
wonder where that came from.
She's amazing. Like she. I mean, probably without knowing, she's taught me how to treat women properly.
Of course she has. Because why wouldn't you respect women when you have the woman who must be the most respected ever? Like, you watch someone only earn your respect every 100%. Day.
And also, I can attribute a lot of that to Serica because she's a very she knows her self-worth.
Yeah.
She would never let anybody walk all over her.
Yeah.
So she's kind of added to that to me to like, this is what women are.
Yeah.
This is what we do. This is why we're important in society. This is why you should treat us.
My God, you must have been fucking catnip as a teenage boy. Like when other teenage boys are out there treating women like actual dirt, you're just this like angel floating through house parties.
But then I was like, oh, you teach me, like not teach me, like she kind of showed me as well. Yeah. And then I just, that's it. she's not that she's made me somebody, but like I'm like, okay, I'm the person you want me to be. Then that's forever, isn't it? That's why we work. And I mean, when I say work, and I mean like everyone's like, even you said like our relationship's really healthy, and Adam calls it like this, like fucking like romance, like film love, and yet it is. We're very lucky. We've got that like 0.01% chance of meeting each other, but it is also probably like 20% of having really big conversations that like maybe every couple of months where you need to sit and really deal with stuff and get through it and talk about it, and then just keeping them at the top of every list, like every single list.
And I do, when I say all that, I also say it with the added sort of like wink, or not even wink, but I also see how much effort you put in.
Yeah.
I see, I mean, even the last few weeks, I'm not going into it, it's private, but like I watch how much effort you put in and how much you want to show her how much you love her and how much. And I don't think true love is this accidental thing, like, oh, we just happened to meet my soulmate. Like, soulmate is the most fucking poisonous term, I think, because it assumes it's nothing to do with you, it's nothing to do with your actions, it's just this happenstance person dropped in your lap. True love is, I think, watching two people want to love each other forever, want to love each other, not just effortlessly breeze through, they want to love each other and be good to each other forever. I think it's remarkable, and I think it's so, it's where the generations get a bit confused. Obviously there's a generation above where a lot of them didn't really think much about this, and but they do still understand obligation a lot better than we do. There's an understanding of like, you shouldn't stay when you're miserable. Obviously that's not what I'm saying, but there is sometimes you might not want to. So you got to find a way to. You got to find a way to love them tomorrow when you maybe don't feel like doing that today.
Yeah, and that's why relationships probably lasted longer back then. Yeah, exactly. For good or for worse.
Well, yeah, there is that. I've loved this so much. My heart feels like 1,000 times bigger. Can I ask one thing? Because this is something and this is going to come across out so egotistical, and it's not at all how I mean it. I think one of my things about not identifying Pickles, not having her photos on Instagram, not saying even her name, which is probably a wild one, but is she obviously has this person who's out there, who's our donor, who he cannot at all, he has no claims to her, none, at any point of her life, not even when she turns 16, 18, 20, whatever, he has no claims to her. By which I mean that if he has a nuclear family, one of them needs some sort of transplant or blood, we can't be contactable at all. Yeah. Fine, those are the laws.
Yeah.
My, Rolodex of like awful things that could happen just before I fall asleep every night is, what if my career starts going really, really well? What if this front-facing career suddenly, that's very sweet, suddenly blows up, and I'm this person and I'm online talking about my baby fathered by a donor, here's all the pictures on Instagram, and someone somewhere in the world is like, that really looks like my mate. I remember he donated sperm, that looks like my mate. I have this abject fear of this person who I'm sure is delightful and I hope is lovely and kind and good and is at peace with the decision he made and doesn't regret it or anything. Her being findable. Do you ever? You are now doing very, very well. Your career's going very, very well. You're successful. Do you ever worry about someone somewhere being like, God, he looks like me?
I think our situations are very similar, but also very different, because yes, he knows I exist, but he's not in my world at all.
Right.
He is way over there. I know nothing. I know his name. Sure.
Yeah.
So it's funny. It's just all conjecture.
Yeah.
You might live in the UK. You might be.
Yeah.
You might live in Manchester. I don't know. It's never ever popped into my mind. And also, I think I'm strong-willed enough that if that ever happened and he was like, oh, it's me, I'd be like, sick. I'm asked. It's cool, mate. Cool. Glad you exist. Glad you've reached out. Hope you're well. Hope you're happy. Yeah. But I think you're not a part of me.
You're not adding to my net happy.
You're not. That ship has sailed so long ago. I can't think of, because you always get the jokes of well, he was a millionaire. That's just that ship is so sailed on.
I want for nothing.
Yeah, there's no gap.
Yeah.
At all, and you're going to give that to Pickles because you're going to give her everything she needs and more, and you've got this whole world round her that you're putting in there to give her love. There isn't going to be a gap for her either. It's not. She has the opportunity to, and it's probably
it's on her.
Yeah, it's on her, and it's healthy. There's nothing wrong with it. It's healthy, but I just can't see you raising a person where she goes, I need to fill this gap. there ain't gonna. You're gonna be busy. There ain't gonna be no gaps.
No
You're gonna have love everywhere. You're gonna be such a whole person. I think she'll be like me.
I hope so. I'd be very proud if she was. May I tell you that? I hope your mum is. I'm sure she is. This has been one of my favourite episodes. I'm going to get really emotional, so thank you very much.
Thanks for asking me on. It's been cathartic, and I hope they enjoyed it.
You're magic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, this letter, I feel... I wrote this ages ago, and I've been like really wondering when to share it, and it feels like this is maybe the right episode. I am so aware that myself and, for instance, our guest this week's mother had a really singular time of being a single mummy. I didn't get here through heartbreak, is what I'm saying. And I think I've talked so much about being a single mummy and how much I like it, but that's really unfair to not at least do a nod to the women who are doing it, not through autonomy and agency and independence, but actually through something else, through having had a partner and now not having a partner, or being misled, or grieving someone, all those things. And I've had some like completely joyous, glorious messages from people who are in those situations. And I'd never want to be thoughtless about my position versus a lot of other single mummies' positions. So I just sort of wanted to do this, and I hope, that's it. Also, I'm so sorry to caveat this. This is for the mummies, because that's the most easy group of people I can speak to. I'm aware that there are also men single parenting are doing an unbelievable job and a beautiful job under circumstances that are incredibly difficult and being like incredible. But it's single parents all around. But I'm obviously directed this to the mummies because it's a kind of a heart space and a head space that I can understand more, and I didn't want to be narrow in that. So sorry. To the mummies who cry quickly. I see you mummying through heartbreak. I see you crying in the car with enough time before pickup so that you can baby wipe the mascara off your cheeks before you scoop them up and fawn over yet another piece of artwork of a mummy and a daddy in the house. And act like you don't have a single problem in this whole world. Because how could you when you were off to the swings with your favourite people? I'm not parenting through heartbreak. It's one of the many aspects of my path to single motherhood that I feel eternally grateful for. I've been heartbroken, and I remember the times it was raw and relentless and wiped virtually everything from me but my ability to breathe and put one foot in front of the other. But I didn't have to stagger through that chapter whilst also in charge of a little person or people for whom I still want to paint the world as good and kind and wonderful. I think those of you doing it are genuine titans walking among us, and I hope you know that you are. Even when you just pop them in front of Bluey and you say that you're popping to the loo so that you can get 5 minutes to Emma Thompson a fast panic cry as quietly as possible in the bathroom. Even then, especially then. I'm not going through that. But I'd be lying if I didn't say there is a someone, or there was a someone, or maybe there never was a someone. He didn't break my heart. Luckily for me, I had enough experience of that before to recognise the movie before I stayed past the first act. But nonetheless, a person who still hurt me very, very much a couple of years back and has managed to stay in my orbit. A place I know he has to be for reasons I can't alter, but try as I might to keep the distance far enough from me that I feel safe, but close enough that I'm not rude or small or petty. He still has the ability to occasionally get closer than feels fair. And he did it again recently. The problem is, the person I would always turn to in a moment like this is someone who has just joined the single mother island through heartbreak. Through a heartbreak she's walking through with such grace and intelligence, which doesn't make it easier for her, it just makes her even more of a goddess to me. And I felt I had no right to reach out to her and hand her my little sad when she's trying to hold her own gigantic grief already. But then she sent me a message which typically just went through me. It was like she knew. And she did. She said she suddenly just felt she needed to get to me. And so I told her he'd done something again and made me sad, but I did it while constantly caveating with, but this is nothing, and this is pathetic, and I can't believe I'm even bringing this to you. And I told her the stupid thing that had happened, the trappings of a relationship that never really was real, and only ever really probably fantasy on both our ends, and never based in anything grounded and hard and truthful. And I said he'd sent me a photo of the moon again. Now, anyone who knows me knows how I feel about the moon, and about all the different meanings and about its magic and the stars as well. And I love astrology. And maybe that does make me basic, and maybe that does make me silly and, quote, surprising for an intelligent woman. But here we are. I feel about the sky the way I think religious people feel about their faith. It reminds you that there's something bigger than you. And that bigger thing is more beautiful than we can comprehend. And in a world of influencers and selfies and narcissistic podcasters wanging on about their inane lives, isn't it better to daily remind yourself of that bigger, beautiful thing? So I told her he had yet again sent me a photo of the moon, like he does so often, accompanied by something knowing and intimate, but still non-committal enough to make me feel my lacking. And she texted back just this. He sent you a photo of the moon because of who you are, not because of who he is. And as she has so many times throughout our friendship, she absolutely floored me. Because I realised how many women I've watched do this thing. It's kind of amazing to watch. Women loving past the point of their knowing. They know. We always know, deep down. And we just think if we can drown out the noise of the knowing with magical thinking, then maybe it will all work itself out. Because remember that story of that guy on that Instagram account about really loving her but not being able to tell her, and past trauma meant that he behaved in a way that was opposite to his feelings, yada, 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 yada. But it all worked out, and thank God she believed in him. Or the guy who really did turn it around. And thank goodness his wife stood by him all those years. What a woman. She just knew. But then you start to remember to be intelligent, and you start leaving, and you start being fine, and you start realising the reality of the actual situation that you were in and not the one you part dreamt up and coloured in all by yourself. And then he sends you the moon. And it's not him. You're having your own beautiful offering reflected back at you, and you're telling yourself it's him. You brought the moon and its magic with you. You pointed to it every day and made room for it every day, as you do. And all this message is proof that he no longer has anyone doing that for him. You don't need the moon pointed out to you. You never did. He did. And now he lives in a world where he doesn't have someone to share it with, except we never shared it. He never wanted it. He wanted access to beauty, but not the responsibility of caring for it. Because sharing an experience with anyone is a responsibility, really, isn't it? It's why so many of us, me included, don't like going to the cinema with anyone, because I feel somehow responsible for them enjoying it. But when it's just me, I can just find it how I find it and experience things as I do, magic or not magic. Even pointing the moon out to someone and knowing what this one is called and is leaving you vulnerable for them not caring or thinking you're a weird girl. Now, I know I've made this thing way bigger than it is and given it more time than it deserves. And in no way am I wanting to place myself among the parents who are having decades-long loves come to an end, while there are little people looking to them to prove that the world is good and kind and wonderful. One of my favourite Rumi quotes is, I said, what about my heart? He said, tell me what you hold inside it. I said, pain and sorrow. He said, stay with it. The wound is the place where the light enters you. Maybe what I am saying is, even when you're crying in the car or in the bathroom during Bluey, knowing that you will stop in time so that your children have no idea what you're going through, maybe allow yourself an extra moment to remember that what this person has taken from you is nothing compared to what they lost in losing you. The moon is a woman, I'm sure of it. Nothing else could keep shining so effortlessly in the darkness. Dry your eyes, girl, and remember to keep looking up. Love, Hatty.